Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, PC Master Race of all shapes, sizes, and ages. My name is Simon the Diamond Ivanov, and with me, several miles away in the great state of Illinois, in the amazing city of Chicago, here in the northwest suburbs, Charlie Charmander Binks Wilson. What is up, my brother?
This is my anime face.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm not gonna talk. I want you to stay on the screen. Do it. You have to like tap the mic so it moves to your face, though. You made your eyes completely disappear. And once again, folks, this is one of the perks of watching us live every Tuesday night at 10:30 p.m. Central U.S. time via Ironhammers.org, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. And, of course, to start the... Is this the right word, Charlie? The penultimate episode of the season?
Penultimate. You're going to make me Google that?
Yeah, Google it. Go ahead. Google it while I talk. So I think that to celebrate the penultimate episode, unfortunately, I've had kind of a... Charlie, I've had a swollen mouth area due to a tooth infection, which I'm sorry to tell all the ladies that I am indeed not perfect. But because of that, I've been on all this ibuprofen and whatnot. Therefore, I cannot be drinking any alcoholic beverages. Well, I can, but it'll make things a little crazy, like this past weekend has proven. So what I have here is non-alcoholic sangria, which is like iced wine, but with no alcohol. But it's actually pretty good. And as always, I'm going to slurp a little bit on the microphone here. Check it out. And that way, maybe you folks listening at home can see how good this tastes. Listen. Ooh, my lord. And Charlie, what are you drinking, sir?
Bud Light. That's the default. That's the default for anyone who's not from America and missed our last few shows. That's really the default. I mean, when you're in America, it's just always there and it's cheap.
Very good. Yeah, it is, man. You can go to many places and at the right time, like $1 or less, get a bottle or a cup. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, there was that place, for those of you in Illinois, Stadium, which back in the day, every Wednesday would be 25-cent pints of Bud Light. At that point, they're just trying to kill their patrons,
So, on the other hand, if you go to, like, Wrigley Field, it's like $6.25. Maybe it's $7 by now. I don't even know, but it's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, I think I guess before we even dive in, this weekend we did get to go have a little party over at this place called Gameworks. For those of you who have never heard of it, it's a sports bar and arcade. There's one in Illinois. Pretty much everything you want. A lot of good drinks, a lot of good racing games, pool, all that crap, and of course, Charlie was, you and I were both there, and as a lot of friends as well. So amongst the liquor and and the good times, were there any arcade games or any classic games that you had fun revisiting that night? Since we are on a technology and gaming show.
I admit I didn't really give the games much of a once-over. I mean, mostly they have very, very old school games. I think there I played Dig Dug, just because I used to play a Tandy equivalent, which, was also pretty good. For those of you who don't know, Tandy was a Radio Shack brand in the 80s. So this is very, very old. 16 colors, nothing but beeps. Other than that, I played pinball. Pinball is something that I think, will never get old. It's kind of timeless in its mechanicalness, and other than that, I think it was just pool. And air hockey. I did pick up my third career loss to Mr. McReynolds, but it happens.
Yeah, they have a crazy. I mean, I know you were just talking about the standard air hockey, but they have this weird. Did you play the air hockey with like a screen and like touch sensors and everything?
The one that kept the pucks from flying at your face? Yeah. I didn't get in on that, but we should have, especially since there was 2-on-2.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there was. you know, I think the problem with a place like that is that alcohol fueled parties lead to the untimely uh, malfunctioning of a lot of these games. Like, I mean, air hockey, I mean, you have people throwing the puck at each other. Pool, you have people just destroying the felt. Basketball, you have people throwing the basketballs at different machines. Skee ball, you have people stealing the skee balls.
I saw a lot of just off the games, beer being poured in random places too. That shit happens too.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But yeah, it was definitely a good time, and but so besides that, besides work, besides the usual stuff, and before we get into part 1 of 2 of our final topic of the season, which is our sub $900 custom build to rival and exceed expectations of what a PS4 and Xbox One are expected to do this fall, which Charlie and I have built virtual machines that we are going to discuss on the air. The community will vote on which one's better, and then next week we'll crown a victor, and we'll have our season finale of Ironhammers Overclocked. Before we talk about all of that, Charlie, have you been playing anything besides Drunken Dig Dug this last week on your personal computer, a.k.a. PC?
Well, we had a momentous occasion here. The Wilson family has decided to upgrade our internet. So we are downloading at 15 megabits per whatever second, I guess. And so, yeah, I was able to fully download Borderlands. Haven't touched that yet. Damn it.
Oh, did your foot just go into a fan?
No, that's my foot massager that's busted. But other than that, I have been playing Oblivion a little bit. I'm not as excited about it as Skyrim. And, of course, a little bit of that Candy Crush Saga, which we might as well jump to right now. Our segment, What Not to Play. Candy Crush Saga is what you don't want to play. That's just not going to be good for you or the people that you friend on Facebook. It's stupid. It's based on randomness. You won't even be able to beat half the levels on the first try, at no fault of your own. They rig it to force you to buy bonuses unless you play over and over and over again. It's just terrible, and the music will make you sleepy but not go to bed, and it's just bad.
Yeah, man. And I can't. So once again, it wins, I think, 5 weeks in a row the What Not to Play award. So we need to make a little icon, a little trophy. Ironhammers Not to Play award. Yeah, I'm getting sick of it, man. I'm getting sick of it. So you've been playing Oblivion?
Oblivion and a little bit of Candy Crush. That's honestly just more of a, burn some time while the spaghetti noodles cook, but it happens too much. And sometimes, it'll be really late and you wind up playing and you don't even know it. It's just like you're on autopilot.
Yeah. We all have a game like that, man. For me, it used to be like the Black Ops, the Modern Warfares. I would want to wind down for half an hour and I could play 2 or 3 quick rounds against random people, and then go to bed, And that's the same equivalent. I mean, that's a casual game. I mean, I apologize to any hardcore COD fans that may take offense to me calling Call of Duty a casual game, but I mean, I approached it with that same demeanor of, hey, let me just jump in and not really think about the game, but just do it, to tire myself out. So you play some Oblivion and Candy Crush Saga. Nice. I haven't played much myself, dude. I played. I had Batman Arkham City for free because we both worked at the same place. We both got a free copy of it. And I never really got a chance to dig into it. And Arkham City Game of the Year edition was on Steam for about $7.50, maybe last week, 2 weeks ago. And it's the same thing, but it had a ton of DLC, like extra missions and extra skins and all that crap, right? So I bought it, and I deleted the old version. Just so I could have the complete experience. So I sat down, I tried really getting into it, and so hopefully, and now with the announcement of Arkham Origins, I really would like to spend some time and beat Arkham City. But other than that, man, I went to Goodwill yesterday, and anyone who follows me on Facebook will see this. I went to Goodwill and I picked up a Thrustmaster Ferrari GT Experience race wheel that works for PS3, PS2, and of course the PC. Downloaded the drivers, loaded up Need for Speed Most Wanted, F1 2012. I tried to get it to work on Grid 2, but I'm having some issues with that. But pretty much, Charlie, on my awesome big desk, it has a mount, it has pedals, it has force feedback. It's really fun, man. And it was $15. And Charlie, some saint, some angel donated this wheel, all wrapped, shrink wrapped, sealed, everything. And I paid $15 for it, man, brand new at Goodwill. So that was pretty fun. So I think this week I got that yesterday. So I anticipate playing some racing games this week with that exciting new peripheral. What do you think about that? You ever had fun with the old wheels?
Not a whole lot. I enjoyed playing Mario Kart for the Wii with the wheel. I know most people play with the controller. I actually used the wheel, and I did all right with it. Other than that, most of my racing has either been done on the controller or really badly on the arcades. I mean, I just sucked ass. Like, Cruising USA, Cruising the World, I was really bad. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
No, that's you know what though? Not until okay, I mean the rally racing games in the arcade had really tight controls, like the Sega GTs and the Daytona USA. I had like really tight controls, but the Cruis'n USA games, man, okay, being from Chicago and having a high reverence for those games, I will still say that the controls sucked on those games, man. You would tilt the wheel 10 degrees and the car would veer to the left. You know, like it was very unforgiving control. And it was very easy to just go to the right direction and hit a deer and watch it explode into a million pixelated guts.
That's right. Those were Midway, right? Midway is,
yeah.
Was, or maybe still is Chicago.
Now it's NetherRealm Studios, and thankfully they're still based in Chicago with most of the same team. Ed Boon runs it, which is good. But so yeah, I mean, like the Cruis'n USA games are very very important to us Chicagoans. But even then, I will say I don't blame you for sucking at those games. But yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun with the race wheel. And I'm just checking Steam real quick to see if there's anything else that I have been playing. Let's take a look. You know, they've been releasing a lot of new games into the Steam trading card beta. And so I've been trying to play those games to unlock trading cards like, what's it called? Runner 2, Bit Trip Runner 2. Released trading cards, a bunch of other games. So I'm just trying to screw around and, you know, do that crap. I hooked my PC up to the big screen again, and so I was playing games in big picture mode, you know, seeing what plays good in that, you know, on the couch with a controller. A little more of Hotline Miami, and I think that is it. Then, like I said, I think I talked about this last week. I bought the whole Serious Sam bundle. I haven't played any of them yet. And that's about it, man. Yeah, not much else. I keep trying to get back into Assassin's Creed 3 and get more than 10% through it so that I can enjoy Part 4 when it comes out this fall. But I don't know, dude. Assassin's Creed games, like I love all of them, but this third one just, I don't know. I can't get back into it, man.
I've heard that. I've heard a lot of people didn't care for the third one. I don't remember if it was with the story or just the gameplay. I mean, it looks amazing on the commercials, but I'll be the first to admit I could care less about the story at all. I liked Ezio as a character, but the actual story, and the whole like modern day whatever his name is, Reynaldo, or I don't remember. It's all about those hidden blades and getting people from the back and double hidden blades. The rest of it could go, whatever. Bring back Prince of Persia. God damn it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, this was the spiritual successor to it. You know, a lot of the same team and whatnot. Who knows, man? Maybe they will. Let's see. Well, I mean, maybe Assassin's Creed 4 will come out. end the story or end the IP for a few years, and then maybe they'll jump into the new generation of consoles with Prince of Persia. Who knows?
Oh, it's probably too late to mention it, but they did have the Witcher 2, actually all the Witcher series, 66% off. I know you might probably saw that, so it was like $750, I think, for Witcher 2 and something ridiculous for the original Witcher. I don't know. You probably haven't played enough, nor have I, to really know and like get that anticipation up for Witcher 3, but I think Witcher 2 is going to be next on my download list.
Yes, I was very tempted to buy Witcher 2, and at this moment, I am at the point, Charlie. I'm at a terrible point that I have so many damn games on my digital backlog that I don't even want to buy any games on sale. Like right now, Mark of the Ninja is $375. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. I don't even feel like buying it right now because I'm just downloading and downloading and downloading. But that's a stupid thing to think. But no, I did miss out on the Witcher sale. I still need to beat part 1 though. At least you do have that heads up on me that you've beaten the first game. I do need to get in on that and catch up. But now in terms of sales, there's a new Humble Indie bundle that literally just came out about an hour ago. It's the Steam and Android bundle 6. So once again, pay $1 or $2, get a bunch of games. Broken Sword, Stealth Bastard Deluxe, which is pretty fun, and Oregon Trail, and a bunch of other games. So you can play them on your Android tablet, phone, and computer. Lots of cool stuff.
Well, those are different, at least. I mean, you got this whole backlog of games you can't get to, but those are more like phone games that you could be playing, well, heaven forbid, at work, in your downtime. Not that there's ever any downtime at the Glasses Hut or wherever you're at.
Yeah. No, I find downtime. When Super Hexagon came out, I definitely found downtime, which is bad. But so yeah, man. So that's I haven't played much other than that. Movie wise, I think I saw something this last week. What the hell came out? Oh, so Man of Steel. Man of Steel came out. Did you watch it? Are you interested in it?
Looked good in the trailers. What'd you think?
Very cool. I have not watched any of the Superman movies except Superman Returns, which once again, I think, you know what? That's my blasphemous statement of the week, I think. I've never watched any Superman movie other than Superman Returns. I loved this one. It was written by Christopher Nolan and had work by Zack Snyder of 300 and Watchmen. A lot of good writers, a lot of good team behind it. I love Amy Adams. She's another beautiful redhead that I think is not a natural redhead, which makes me sad.
Yep.
But very very cool movie. It puts Michael Shannon, the General Zod, on my radar. Very good stuff, man. Definitely watch it. It's a great reboot, man. And hey, what's his name? What the hell's the Gladiator's name?
Russell
Why is it?
Crowe.
Yeah, I don't know how that blanked on me. Yeah, Russell Crowe plays his dad. I mean, and Kevin Costner plays his human dad. Really good roster, and it's definitely worth watching. You got Star Trek and Man of Steel now this year. So far so good. And
Iron Man 3, I haven't seen it either, and I just heard a great review for like the end, or the end is coming, or you know what I'm talking about.
This is the end. Yeah. I think I saw that. Yeah, I saw that after our last show too. I forget. I saw so many movies this month. That was a funny as hell movie too. Definitely check that out. Yeah, this is the end. This month I've watched The Purge, Fast and the Furious 6, Now You See Me, Man of Steel, and this is the end. Probably like in a good month. So the weeks are kind of blending together. But yeah, this is the end. Is some funny stuff. Even if you don't smoke pot on a daily basis, which that's the category I'm in. I still enjoyed the humor, even though it's definitely in the vein of the Half-Baked and Pineapple Express. You probably get more jokes out of the movie if you're under an influence. But very good stuff. A lot of good people. Nothing like seeing cracked out Michael Cera getting slapped by Rihanna for copping a feel. It's a very bizarre film. Other than that, I think that's it. I see you've got something about Game of Thrones here before we move on to our final topic.
Yeah, maybe you remember, or maybe you don't. But you posted a meme.
Yes. Okay, hold on. I want to hear, because remember, there are people listening to the MP3 of this. Okay, so you have a foot massager there that just keeps going off by itself?
The foot massager is broken, but it's right under my desk, so I accidentally step on the Beyond button every now and then, and it just sounds like a grinder grinding metal things. It's really
so
obnoxious.
is it broken in that it doesn't massage well? Or?
There's things that spin around on the inside, and one of the things that spins around on some motor fell off. So I can't fix it without tearing it open. And
so, like, if you put your foot, does it still feel good?
it feels okay, but it doesn't have as much torque. So
if you put your foot on it and talk, will your voice shake?
No.
All right, so never mind. I was gonna ask you to talk about this, but yeah, okay. I think the meme you're talking about, it was like equating the Xbox One, the PS4, and PC to and the Wii U to Game of Thrones characters.
Yes.
And then you put, like, Jesus Christ, don't look at the comments. I assume it's either insane fanboy hatred of the comments or intense spoilers. So tell me about it without spoiling, of course.
All right. Well, first of all, just for those who haven't seen it, they equate the PC with Tywin Lannister, rich as hell and king of the mountain. Then what is it, the Dragon Queen with the Wii U because it sucks. Jon Snow with the PlayStation 4 because it's awesome, even though they make Jon Snow a pussy in the show. And Hodor for the Xbox One.
That's the best.
It's lost.
Oh god.
Nobody understands it. It'll be different by the time it comes out. But anyway, dude, I put do not see the comments because it is the whole thing is one giant spoiler alert. Even if there's
there's not
really
like
bad.
nothing you can even say. So yeah, I assumed it would be like, well, that's not possible because this person's gonna die or something like that. I assume it's stuff like that.
It's like a season 5 obituary. Yeah, like here's who lives and dies.
That
Pretty
sucks.
Bad. So yeah, I hope you didn't.
No.
Much of that.
I didn't even have time to click it, but then when you said that, I'm like, all right, I'm definitely not.
Yeah, you might want to almost. I mean, wow.
I'm just really gonna hide it from my feed there. a lot of I would say millions of people on planet Earth have a perverse obsession with spoiling stuff, man. Like I'm not gonna spoil it, even though it's like a 5-year mark now. I'm not gonna spoil it for people. But there was this game. Did you ever play Heavy Rain for the PS3?
I heard of it. I heard good things too.
Yeah, it was an awesome game, groundbreaking, like facial technology and all that. And the whole point is you play like I think 6 or 7 characters, like you play them, and one of them is the killer. Like someone gets killed and one of them is a killer, and throughout the game you have to decide, you have to try to figure out who it is. The point of the game is that it's a mystery. And I was looking on, I think it was cheapassgamer.com, which is a good site with a lot of good deals. And the title, like on the forum thread, was Heavy Rain, like $30 off on launch. I'm like, oh great! So I click on it. The first line, right, unavoidable, said blank is the killer. Period. I'm like, what the hell? Like the point of and it was. It ended up being that character. But I mean, I ended up experiencing the game like knowing that and seeing how they hit it. But and then also there's a character in Game of Thrones that, and I won't spoil this either, that this happened a while back, that it showed a picture. Like I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw a picture of this person's face and it said season blank dies. That was it. And I was like, oh my god! Like in a blink of an eye, you see that and you process that. So like people are sick with that stuff, dude. Like I don't even like doing it to my worst enemy because that's like robbing someone. Like we all have video games and movies that we love so much that we say like for me, I wish I could erase all memory of Castlevania Symphony of the Night so that I could enjoy it fresh and like a new experience. So to rob someone of that by like spoiling the ending or spoiling something that makes that experience like, oh, it sucks. It's a great troll, but God, it sucks to do that.
I think Castlevania Symphony of the Night, it's one of those Japanese games without any real sort of story, so I don't think you can really spoil anything. That's about the gameplay. I did, however, watch the third Batman after Samantha actually posted, "Oh my God, I can't believe he dies," and I watched the movie under that pretext, and I don't know.
I think I did that once to a movie I didn't watch. Like I had no interest in.
Like a fake spoiler.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh man, this person I could like died," and they actually died. I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know, man. I'm sorry." You know, but nowadays, man, like on TV and on TV shows primarily, it used to be the ratings getter was hooking two people up, right? Like, all right, oh wow, these two people hooked up, I gotta watch the next episode. Now it's killing people off, like main characters. You know, like we discussed last week, Breaking Bad and Dexter, amazing shows, are ending this fall, or the series. These are the last seasons of these shows, and I'm sure the main characters will die. Like, but I mean, I hope not. But it almost seems like all roads lead to that, and I think that's going to draw in so many people because they're like, oh, someone's like right now on the last season of on this season of Mad Men, they have one episode left, and there's so much speculation of all these characters dying, and this is not even a show where people die. It's like a show about talking.
With Game of Thrones, I guarantee more people will die next season. I mean, it is a guarantee. Very prominent characters, plural, will die.
Oh man, I can't wait. I need to get back into it.
Indeed.
So it's fun stuff. I can't wait for season 2 of Overclocked to begin around the time of those shows, and we can start discussing that stuff. So, Charlie, for the last few weeks, we have been discussing a very important topic. The ninth.
we really haven't been, but
well, or we've been teasing that we were going to eventually discuss it.
Teasing, sure.
Yeah, teasing, just kind of little touching and squeezing a little bit here and there. That once again, we're a PC gaming podcast, but the elephant in the room is that the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are coming out this year with their 8 gigs of RAM here and there with more powerful video cards and just a lot more power, of course, right? These are systems that the companies want them to last 10 years, which to be quite honest, I'm shocked that the PS3 and 360 still look good, except the frame rate is starting to get terrible. Like Assassin's Creed 3 on 360, the frame rate was just disgusting, and I can't. These systems now, like I can imagine another year, and they would be pretty much unplayable. So now you've got this new crop of systems coming out. They have to make them. You've got to put them at a certain benchmark for them to actually matter for the next 10 years, right? These are not modular systems. You cannot change the video card or add RAM or anything. They're stuck the way they are, apart from firmware updates that might increase system stability and whatnot. So the point here is that we said, you know what? Look, to buy both of these systems will be $900, right? The Xbox One is $500, PS4 is $400, $900. And say you just want one of them. Say you want the PS4, $400. You want 2 games. Now you're at like $550. You want another controller. Now you're at $620. You get peripherals with tax. You're almost at about $900. Same thing with the Xbox. So we said, hey, let's take $900, pre-tax, of course, and build some machines. Imaginary machines, of course, because we don't actually have $900 laying around, each of us. But Charlie and I have built $900 builds that we think you could put next to the PS4 and next to the Xbox One with the multi-platform games, and that they will do the trick, do the same thing as those systems, if not better. And remember, these are things that you can still upgrade in a year or two if you want to. So, Charlie, I'd like to hear... Mine is pretty boring, so I'm really curious to hear what yours is. And keep in mind, folks, Charlie's going to say his, I'm going to say mine, and I'm going to put an article on ironhammers.org. I want people to vote, and next week for the season finale of Ironhammers Overclocked, we will decide a winner based on the community feedback, and the winner gets... I don't know. I mean, Charlie, you'll get to choose from any woman in my family
I
or something.
personally will do the mother or closest living female relative of our winner.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. Perfect.
You're welcome.
Yeah, see, people, all you ingrates, unappreciative ingrates. All right, Charlie. So, do you have a? I know we didn't get that far, but I would say throw a name on your systems, because you have the Xbox One, the PS4, and then the. You can save that for the end if you want.
Yeah, I'll yeah.
So let's hear your specs and tell me why you chose each spec. So this is the Charlie Wilson $900 9th gen build.
All right. Well, let's start right off. Windows 7, $100. You're stuck there. Windows 8 costs a little more, and I don't know why you'd spend it on there. Some people do like Windows 8. I'm not one of them. $100, Windows 7, OEM, Home Premium, 64-bit. I assume you're probably the same there.
Yes, I agree with that.
You didn't buy a Linux gaming system? No.
To be honest with you, well, I'll tell you mine later. All right, go on though. Windows 7 Ultimate, I like it.
You can dual boot with Linux if you really wanted to. I have a familiar with. It's $50. Actually, I think it's $44.99 on Newegg right now. It's smaller, but it should do the job. It's pretty basic. It's black. It's nothing fancy, nothing weird.
And let me stop you real quick, Charlie. I don't know if it was just me, but there was an intermittent interruption. I heard everything you said except what the actual case was.
The Thermaltake V3.
Oh, the V3. Oh, yes, that's a great case. Like you said, about $50. You can do everything you want. All right. And you think that this case, it's a great case. It came out about 4 years ago. You think that it's still good for today's demands of cooling and ventilation?
It should be fine. I mean, if you're going to really push the throttle on overclocking, you know what, you're going to be spending more than we're spending right now, because I did not include water cooling at all. So, all right. From there, again, that's definitely cheaping out a bit. Where I spent my money would be the AMD 8320. That is a current gen 8-core processor. I believe it turbo clocks at 4.0 gigahertz, standard 3.8. So, 8 cores. That means 8 cores.
in Swahili, I think, right?
I think it's one of those. Yeah, I think the Hawaiians might use that.
Cores.
Your CPU fan should be included in there, so you're good there. Again, you're not going to be doing too much major overclocking. A decent CPU fan would probably cost you at least $50. Water cooling, of course, more. Motherboard, it's a Gigabyte. I can give you the model name, GA970A-D3. It's just a standard AM3 Plus board. It does have optical out, since we will be skipping on the sound card and onboard sound sucks. We're going to want the optical out, plug that into something else that can do our digital decoding and give us something worth listening to. But it does have 8 channels as well, but it's that Realtek garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
RAM, I've got listed Corsair Vengeance 2 by 4 gigabytes, so 8 gigabytes should be plenty. I don't touch 4 gigabytes on a normal gaming session, so 8 should be more than good enough. You can swap that out. I saw it after the fact. A lot of people do the G-Skill Ripjaws, which also have the goofy cooling fans. The Vengeance have the fins, and Ripjaws do too, and they run $72. And again, you see and hear a lot of that with the gaming community. I think I actually have G-Skill like low voltage RAM in my machine right now, so better for various reasons. Keeps you green.
Nice.
My graphics card. I went huge, and I kind of cheated in our challenge in that I included the $30 rebate on this guy. There's other rebates I skipped, but the $30 on this one helped put me at like exactly $900. And that's the XFX Double D 3 gigabyte version 7950. Again, that's a current gen graphics card that should destroy everything out there in the console market for their entire lives.
And how much is that card?
And I got it at $290, $260 after rebate.
All right. You're going to be shocked at how similar our machines are.
On top of that, which you are probably also looking at as well, it comes with Tomb Raider, Far Cry 3, Black Dragon, or Blue Dragon, or Blood Dragon. One of those. I've got BD.
Blood
Dragon, fine. Crysis 3, Bioshock Infinite. I mean, those are 4 solid games. Completely free. I mean, I'm sure you pay for them in some way or another, but the fact that it comes with the $290 card and then throw $30 on top of that.
And that all of those games are better than the launch titles for the new consoles, I'm sure.
They all are, and I'm sure the consoles will probably even come out with probably Crysis 3 and Tomb Raider, and you know what? You can put them side by side and watch how much better your purchase is. And you pay for it, but think about 4 or 5 years down the line, you'll still have this machine destroying the other machine and the potential to upgrade because we're all going to be having better jobs and more money later in our lives, and definitely not having kids.
Yeah, I agree with that. I at least agree with that. Jesus.
So after that, it gets the boring nitty gritty. The power supply. I've got a Corsair CX600M. I go Corsair because that's just what I've always gotten. I've gotten Corsair and a Seasonic, which is an alternate of Corsair. I think it's a subsidiary. My first power supply was actually an Ultra. I think I discussed that before. Right. Ultra is a subsidiary of Tiger Direct, which we worked for, so we got those Ultra power supplies extra cheap. This was before the fact, and I got that power supply. All right, it was $100. I got it with a $30 rebate plus a case that came with a $30 rebate. The case came with the power supply. So I got it. At the end of it all, I had $40 for a case and a modular power supply. It was 500 watts. I mean, $40. How do you top that?
Yeah.
In the hard drive, I've got a 1 terabyte Seagate Barracuda. The Seagate Barracudas are rated the most reliable of what's out there. I know a lot of people have their preferences, Western Digital or Seagate, and it's usually based on one or the other failing. But the Seagate Barracuda is actually the most reliable of the current hard drives. As post look at these note kind of deals, if you were to actually make this build, I would throw in $100 for the sound card if you didn't have your own sound system to go optical with, because like I've mentioned before, it is that much better than the onboard sound, and especially with the headphones. And it's a bigger improvement than you'll get with buying a nice pair of headphones. Just $100. Actually, I've got it at 90 OEM. If you want to go SSD, you can get 64 gigabyte for $95. I don't know that I would swap that for a 1 terabyte 7200 RPM Seagate Barracuda. And other than that, if you were to try to make this build, make sure you got enough room for the graphics card, because I did not double check that. And yeah, altogether, I think the totals I've got come up to exactly $900. And again, that's there you go.
Nice, nice. All right, all right. Now, what do you want to call that machine? You can wait till I'm done with mine, by the way, if you want.
I call it. Take that, Simon.
All right. Well, I'll give you some time to think, because remember, I want to display them nice on the site so people can vote for them. But if you want to call it "Take That, Simon" or "Screw You, Simon" or anything, that's fine. All right. Now, I will. Here's my disclaimer. Okay, I forgot to include the operating system on here, and if anyone knows me, probably know why I would discuss the operating system. But for legal reasons, I'll say that I was planning on putting Linux in there. And so let's just say I was planning on doing Linux, but if you want Windows 7, it's another $100. But this,
by the way, my prices were based on Newegg current pricing, no major deals. Again, I threw in the $130 rebate, but that's it.
Okay, so to even out both our builds, you included a few deals. I did only MSRP, without any rebates or deals, but I didn't include the operating system. So I think both they even out. Our little discrepancies here and there even out. So for the case, I did, because to me, as the V3, I think this one will do everything we need to do. It's the right size, and it has a lot of room for expandability. I went with the Cooler Master half 922M. Now, the 922 has been out there for a while, and I've built a few machines in there, but the 922M has got the USB 3.0 ports, which, for gaming in the next few years, I'm assuming that like all mice and controllers now have USB 3.0 compatibility. I don't really know what the improvement would be for something like a mouse, but hey, USB 3.0 ports, and the 922 is a great case. It isn't the prettiest, but go ahead. What's up?
The M, was that the one that's not a tower? It's like kind of a box.
No, that's the LAN. That's like the X.
XM.
The XC or something. Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah. That one's really cool, but it's not for everyone, you know. But I love the Cooler Master little LAN box is awesome, and that one's like $100 too. So this one's $109. You can definitely find deals on it, but MSRP is $109 for the half 922M. Nice big black machine, lot of room for cooling and ventilation. Then now this is where your machine's gonna kind of kill mine, but you'll see that it'll kind of even out. Now, because games have not yet needed more than... I haven't seen any games that have required 6 cores yet. I went with a 6-core processor, and I actually went with the one that I have on my machine, and that's the FX 6100. I like that you went with the 8320, but because I spent a little more on my case, I went the FX 6100. It's 6 cores. It's not as it doesn't have as much raw power as the one you chose, but I will say that this is something that once you get an extra nice fan for it, you can go in and overclock it. But for the time being, you can run today's games at a really good level with the 6100. It's a good processor, and it's $149. Once again, you can find amazing deals with that. The motherboard that goes with it, I got the Asus M5A97. It's got a ton of SATA 6 gigabit per second slots, and of course some USB 3.0 slots as well. I think it's got the 5.1. I believe it's got 5.1 output. But once again, down the road, you want to put a sound card in there. Out of the box, it's a good, full-featured motherboard. Everything you need to do on there. For RAM, and that motherboard is $99. Once again, you could definitely find some combo deals. The RAM, I also went with Corsair Vengeance, but I just went with one 8-gig stick, $69.99, because with that motherboard, you can go up to 32 gigs by putting 4 8-gig sticks. You will never need 32 gigs, but you could do it if you want.
As a part of why I went with the 2 4-gigabyte sticks, all the 8-gigabyte sticks I saw on Newegg were server memory. All that means is there's like an error check involved with it, and I thought that would slow you down. I think the latencies were a little higher too.
Sorry? what kind of timings were there? Because the Vengeance and then the Ballistic Sport, the Crucial, all had like tens, like they were like 10, 10, 10, 7. Like, were they pretty good timings on the
I want to
2x4?
say they were cast latency 9s, and they were rated at 1600. I forget what the numbers mean, but they were the 1600, not the 1333s.
Okay, yeah. This one's also 1600, but yeah, so yours was a little faster. It had a little better timings.
I haven't heard much lately in terms of RAM and performance, except that you can usually find more than enough for a pretty good price. So,
Right.
I'll have to
Nice.
look that up.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, we'll have to have a RAM battle on season 2. But yeah, so it's the same thing. And I have also heard good things about the G-Skill Ripjaws that you mentioned. So that's $69.99 for a stick of 8 gig. For the graphics card, I went with the exact same card, but the exact same series. I also went with the 7950. I also went with a 3 gig, but this is a gigabyte version. I did not see the one. I didn't see that XFX, which I'm gonna have to change it to yours because this was $299. I think it had 3 games with it, but it is a 3 gig card. Either way, though, yours or mine, I'll stick with this one to keep them different.
Mine said double D. I can't go wrong with that.
I like exactly. I like both sizes in my cards, and I have an XFX right now, so I am a fan of them. But so gigabyte 7950, 3 gig card. That is, you're gonna have a screaming machine with this. And in the power supply, I also had the CX series, 750 watt, $89.99. Once again, you can find good deals on that. That's all you need for one good graphics card, and even you can even throw a basic H100 water cooling in there. You're good with that.
The 7950 is rated for 500 watts or higher. So,
Okay.
while I definitely wouldn't go lower than 600, definitely higher would be the way to go if you're planning on stuffing your machine with cathode tubes. And
Yeah. And to me, if you stick with like Corsair or Thermaltake, you can do 750 because they're the 12 volt. Like the 12 volt rail power is actually good. If you get those cheaper like the Ultras and whatnot, it'll say 750, but you actually have like 300 watts dedicated for graphics card, which is unbelievably ridiculous. But yeah, with the Corsair, it's like 750, like you said, I think that's the lowest I'd go for these new cards. And I'm pretty sure the NVIDIA cards still need an extra 100. I think they're about 600 watts for like the 700 series. And then for hard drive, you have a little room to play here. If it came down to like $20-$30, you could play around. But I went with the Western Digital Black, 1 terabyte, 7,200 rotations per minute, and it's a 6 gigabit per second connection to go with the as fast as you can get without doing solid state drive. I also like the idea of a solid state, but these games now. I mean, look at Witcher 2. I mean, what is that? 14 gigs now. Witcher 2 I think is probably closer to 20 gigs, right?
I think it's 18 right in the middle.
Yeah, so it's like, a solid state drive is awesome if all you're gonna do is play like Black Ops for a year and then buy a hard drive and a big hard drive. But yeah, I would say go with this one. Like you said, the Barracuda. The Barracuda is equally as awesome. So with all this, without putting an operating system in there, I'm at $908. So throw Linux in there, deactivate your copy of Windows 7 on your garbage computer, and reactivate it on this one or whatever you got to do. But I'm at 908, and this machine will do whatever you want to do, man. Is it the strongest computer? Absolutely not. Absolutely not the strongest. But this is a current gen graphics card. Like 1 generation old. Actually, we're still in the FX series, but they just have a new architecture that came out for the AMD. This is great, man. I think both of our machines, Charlie, are great competitors to the systems. And did you come up with a fancy name yet?
No, I didn't. Mostly because when I think of a name, you think of the outside, and really the V3 could not be much more plain for
Yeah, yeah. Mine as well. So, let's see. I don't know. I think I don't know. All right, okay. By the time the article goes up, we'll have cool names to accompany our system. So yeah, man, I'm gonna put all this on the website. We'll have the community vote on them. Any final thoughts on mine, man? Any criticisms other than I spent a little too much on that case? I think.
Well, for both of us, it's quite clear that we are AMD fanboys. Maybe not fanboys, but I will continue to support AMD until they decide to give up.
Yeah. Well, dude, if we were to put a Core series CPU and motherboard, we'd be at $400 with just processor and motherboard.
It's true.
That's the problem.
From what I gather, the PlayStation 4 is running with a 7870, which is not bad. It's not a 7950, but it's not bad. I think it will get outclassed as the drivers and all that come along, but yeah, 7950, and then 3 years later you'll be able to do something else with that. Heck, you could probably sell your 7950, throw in an extra $150 and get whatever's current at the time.
No.
If the apocalypse doesn't happen between now and then.
It's all right. It didn't. Excuse me. It didn't happen in 2012, so that just means we're doomed to another millennia of agony and war and famine and pain and misery and terrible. Dude, I just have to say, man. Like, speaking of terrible negativity, the unbelievable memes and jokes on the internet about Xbox One. I mean, I'm seeing pictures, like memes, with a picture of the Xbox One saying, "Rest in peace, 2013 to 2013." Like, God, man, like, people are just tearing... They're just...
Microsoft's life does not depend on the Xbox at all. I mean, no. I think I've said it before. They own corporate servers and all the software. I mean, my whole job is dedicated to knowing the ins and outs of Windows 7 Professional and Windows Server 2008 and all the entanglements and the syncing with Microsoft Exchange servers. I think maybe they just have too much money and thought they were too good for school, too cool for school. And if they plan on competing at all, they will change something in the future. It's not going to be the same. It can't be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's too bad, man, because a lot of their products are almost there. Like, I loved their like, I had a Nokia Lumia 900 right before my Galaxy S3, the phone, and I loved Windows Phone 7. Like, it was a cool operating system, but they had no apps to download. And then you look at Windows 8, and man, really cool potential, but then they said, you know what? They just keep fragmenting everything. Like, they say, here's Windows 8. We're going to release some Surface tablets. Some of them are going to have a limited version of Windows 8. Some are going to have the full version. Then you have Windows Phone 8, which is not really the full Windows 8 experience. And then you have the Xbox One, which you almost would have been sure that would have a Windows 8 tie-in. But no, it's just something completely different. Like, you look at Apple, they have a unified iOS. That's that. Everything's a cloud. Everything is synced. Everything's shared. I think Microsoft needs to get all of its teams in one room and say, let's do one thing together and see if any good comes of it. But whatever. I'm gonna buy the Xbox One. I'm gonna buy the PS4. I'm probably not gonna play them like I don't play my Xbox right now. But I'll get them just so that I can talk about it and play the one or two exclusive games that will only come out on those systems. I don't know.
Perhaps. I mean, I got a PlayStation 4 just because I thought, why wouldn't I? And then after the fact, I rarely touched it. Yeah. I mean, it was years, literally years before I really started playing much, because all that was out at launch was Resistance and Uncharted, I think. Yeah. Oblivion, which I did not touch until just recently.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. Nothing impressive. I'm very excited, dude. Let me tell you what, man. talking about building these machines is like like if someone brings me parts and says, "Hey, can you build my computer for me? I'm too lazy." It's like someone handing me a stack of porn magazines and saying, "Just look through them." It's just like so exciting. Like I love building stuff. I love modifying computers. Obviously, full transparency here. Obviously, there's a layer. Well, there are many layers of PC knowledge. I'm at the very top layer in terms of I don't know much. I know how to put together a really badass machine and do a few tweaks to it. But once you get into Linux, I'm ignorant. I don't know anything about Linux. Once you get into overclocking, I could do a very, very, very amateur and not very risky version of overclocking. But once you get really deep into it, I still have a lot of research to do. There's still a lot to learn. But the concept of making a one-of-a-kind experience is great, man. I mean, we literally there are millions of possibilities of what we could have done for this virtual machine, and it's great, and that will never change. There will always be ways to do that, And what's funny, Charlie, is that now this is like watered down compared to how it was 20 years ago when our older, uncles and cousins and friends were building machines. Like this is like this is like Lego set now compared to how it was.
No setting jumpers, no setting latencies, no setting voltages. Yeah, it's been dumbed down. I was ready for a whole lot more when I was getting ready for my first build because I described it before. I did it all by myself. I was just whatever I learned off the computer. I didn't know anybody that built anything before. And yeah, I was nervous about it, but it really was not that hard.
Now, your first machine, and then we'll wrap up the show. I just have to ask, your first machine, was it a parallel ATA hard drives and everything, or all SATA, all modern?
No,
modern
it
stuff?
was IDE, IDE hard drive. It was my first chip was a gosh, I don't even remember. It was an AMD something 5000 Black Edition.
Was it a single core? Or
it was single core. I was still on DDR. But at the time, this was a very, very decent, I think it came out to about $800 or $900 build. The graphics card was it was a BFG. No, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What are they? Help me out.
Yeah. Well, no, it was. I don't remember what the model was, but yeah, I had a BFG as well.
Okay, there was a BFG 6800 GT.
Man, I'll have to see what mine was because mine was just as bad. No, I think mine was a GeForce 5600, and it was an AGP card, and DDR. Like the computer in the other room is that machine. It's got a 4670 HD now, but yeah, there was some. But yeah, it was like a weird hybrid of like some SATA parts and some IDE, and that was I had to play with jumpers on that one too, man, because I bought what the hell did I don't know, man. I bought some hard drive that wasn't recognized, and this old as hell motherboard, so I had to put a little jumper to limit, I think 3 megabits per second down to 1.5. It was just ridiculous, dude. But that's that's amateur stuff to, people who, really know down to the circuitry of these machines. But thankfully, yeah, exactly, and thankfully that has nothing. That's not consumers don't need to know that stuff. But
someday I would like to learn to solder and replace a capacitor, since it seems like, especially like I mentioned last segment, that capacitors seem to be a spot where people like to cheap out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And replacing them yourself would save you all sorts of time and money. So, but yeah.
Yeah, good point. But well, yeah, maybe you know what? I think next season we'll have a segment, maybe even a video segment where we try. We'll get old cannibalized parts and put a build, like a crappy build together, and do weird experiments and see if we can we can actually do things like soldering a capacitor on and whatnot. That might be fun. That might be interesting. But before we go on for too long, that is that for episode 11. Once again, we got our amazing new builds that we just created. I'm going to put a article up on the site. You guys can vote for it, and then we'll talk about it next week on the season finale. Charlie, any last words for this show and anything you'd like our community to prepare for the final episode?
No, not really. No, I got nothing.
What do you plan on playing by next week?
I'm thinking I'm probably gonna give Oblivion a break and try out Borderlands and hopefully get The Witcher 2 downloaded because I think I'd like to play that more than Oblivion, to be honest.
Nice. Cool, man. And I guess I'll do one last thing here, and I'm just looking on my Steam, what's it called? Freaking activity feed. Oh, by the way, never mind. I'll talk about it next time. All right, guys. I don't want to rant anymore. Forget it. It's too late. But so, folks, we'll see you in 7 days, in 7 Earth days, and it's gonna be a nice, exciting show. Well, maybe we'll give something away. Who the hell knows? And then prepare yourselves for the return of Ironhammers on air sometime very soon, and they'll kind of fill the gaping hole while we're away. And then when they take a break, we'll jump back in. And so, folks, ironhammers.org. Check it out. Vote for the best machine. And Charlie will, as he said before, bring great earthly pleasures, earthly carnal pleasures to the winner's mom or their least favorite female family member.
I'll do it.
So, guys, Charlie, thank you as always for joining me on this exquisite show. And, folks, we will see you in 1 week.